It's pretty close.
It's another day. Children come and play with chocolate button.
Chocolate button.
The sun is out today. I'll say hello today to chocolate button.
Chocolate button.
I'll teach you how to read and write. Not sure I can ride a bike. We'll go through all the letters and sounds, having lots of fun playing around. It's another day. Children come and play with chocolate button.
Chocolate button.
The sun is out today. I'll say hello today to chocolate button. Chocolate button.
2, 3. Chocolate button. Good morning, Mr. Magpie.
Good morning, I in the garden. Bye. I like that.
Hello and welcome to Storytime with Chocolate Button. Today we have an incredibly beautiful book, and it was a very special book for me because it was given to me as a present by a child in a class when I taught in year 2. So I would like to say a very big thank you to Theo who gave this to me. Now Theo is in year 6. My goodness me, such a long time ago. But I taught him when he was in year 2, and at the end of the year he gave me this beautiful book to say thank you, and I've kept it all this time, so thank you very much. Right, here we have, it's called Zen Shorts, and it's by John J. Muth, or Muth. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, I'm afraid. There you go. And it's got lots of short stories, so we'll read one of them today. And it's published by Scholastic Press. Okay, so thank you very much to John J. Muth and Scholastic Press for letting us read this story today together, even though we can't be together because of the coronavirus. Right, let's have a look. Oh, I'd forgotten about this. In the inside, look, there's this inlay, a beautiful picture that I ought to get framed, really. I must remember to do that. Beautiful picture of a panda bear, and we love bears in reception. Zen Shorts by John J. Muth, Scholastic Press, New York. Look at that panda, my goodness. And it says, for Ballard Borich, the giant panda I've often found dancing on my porch. Wow, imagine finding a giant panda dancing on your porch. Wow. Michael, there's a bear outside, said Carl. A what? Called Michael. With a little penguin. A bear! He's really big, and he's in the backyard. What's he doing? Michael asked. He's sitting. He has an umbrella, said Carl. An umbrella? Look, he's coming out of the room now. He's interested to find out now what his little brother can see. Look, he's looking out of the window. By the time the boys got outside, their sister Addie was already talking with him. I'm sorry for arriving unannounced, said the bear. The wind carried my umbrella all the way from my backyard to your backyard. I thought I would retrieve it before it became a nuisance. He spoke with a slight panda accent. Michael introduced himself. Then Addie introduced Carl because Carl was shy around bears he didn't know. And this is how Addie, Michael and Carl met Stillwater. Stillwater. Oh, the panda bear's called Stillwater. Yes, I think so. That's right. The next day, Addie went to have tea with Stillwater. Look, she's walking up that big hill to go and have tea. Hello? Addie said as she stepped inside. Come in, a faraway voice called. Then she heard the voice say, Oh yes, come out. Stillwater was in the backyard. Oh look, bamboo pictures. Oh look, she's brought a bamboo cake with her. That's very kind. Because pandas like bamboo, don't they? I think they do, yes. Look at that. He was in a tent. This is a birthday present from my Uncle Ray, Stillwater said. He always gives presents on his birthday to celebrate the day he was born. I like it so much that I'm not staying in my house right now. Stillwater invited Addie to sit with him. My goodness. Look, she's allowed in the tent too. So lucky. You brought me some cake, said Stillwater. That was very nice of you. Is it your birthday? He asked. No, said Addie. It's not mine either, said Stillwater. But let me give you a gift for my uncle's birthday. I will tell you a story. Oh, they're the best kind of gifts. I love stories. Uncle Ray and the Moon. My Uncle Ray lived alone in a small house up in the hills. He didn't own many things. He lived a simple life. One evening he discovered he had a visitor. A robber had broken into the house and was rummaging through my uncle's very few belongings. The robber didn't notice Uncle Ray, and when my uncle said, "Hello," the robber was so startled he almost fell down. My uncle smiled at the robber and shook his hand. "Welcome, welcome. How nice of you to visit." The robber opened his mouth to speak, but he couldn't think of anything to say. Because Ray never let anyone leave empty-handed, he looked around for the tiny hut for a gift for the robber, but there was nothing to give. The robber began to back toward the door. He wanted to leave. At last Uncle Ray knew what to do. He took off his only robe, which was old and tattered. "Here," he said, "please take this." The robber thought my uncle was crazy. He took the robe, dashed out the door, and escaped into the night. My uncle sat and looked at the moon, its silvery light spilling over the mountains, making all things quietly beautiful. "Poor man," lamented my uncle. "All I had to give him was my tattered robe. If only I could have given him this wonderful moon." "Your uncle sounds nice," said Addie. I don't think I could have given him away my only robe." "I know how that is," said Stillwater, "but there's always the moon." "That was a good story," said Addie. "Thank you," said Stillwater. "And this is a good cake." "Thanks," said Addie. "I made it myself." Look, they've been doing some paintings while they've been listening to the story. It's a nice thing to do. Very nice thing to do. The next day, Michael went to see Stillwater. "Here I am," Stillwater called from the tree. "Can I come up?" asked Michael. "If you are careful," said Stillwater. Look, there he is, right up the top of the tree. Oh, so fun. I love climbing trees. Well, we all love climbing trees, don't we? We love to climb the tree in the garden, don't we? Look, there's Michael up there too. "What if we could fly?" said Michael. "We could cast shadows on clouds," said Stillwater. Why are they talking about flying? Oh, look, they've made paper aeroplanes, just like we did. Oh my goodness, so fun. Throwing them from the very top of that tree, they must go for miles and miles. "But what if we fell?" said Michael. "If we fell, we might break something," said Stillwater. "That would be bad," said Michael. "Maybe," said Stillwater. "Maybe?" asked Michael. The farmer's luck. There was once an old farmer who had worked his crop for many years. One day his horse ran away. Upon hearing the news, his neighbours came to visit. "Such bad luck," they said sympathetically. "Maybe," the farmer replied. The next morning the horse returned, bringing with it 2 other wild horses. "Such good luck!" the neighbours exclaimed. "Maybe," replied the farmer. The following day the son tried to ride one of the untamed horses, was thrown off and broke his leg. Again the neighbours came to offer their sympathy on his misfortune. "Such bad luck," they said. "Maybe," answered the farmer. The day after that, the military officials came to the village to draft young men into the army to fight in a war. Seeing that the son's leg was broken, they passed him by. "Such good luck!" cried the neighbours. "Maybe," said the farmer. Oh my goodness, look, they must be all the neighbours, do you think? Good luck, bad luck. "I get it," said Michael. "Maybe good luck and bad luck are all mixed up. You never know what will happen next." "Yes," Stillwater agreed. "You will never know." Look, they're sitting under that tree beautifully. The day after that, Carl went to visit Stillwater. "Michael said I couldn't bring over our stuff to go swimming. I'm mad at Michael. He's always telling me what to do, so I brought everything." Said Stillwater. "It's a little pool. I don't know how those things will fit." "Let's see," Carl said. "Let's see," said Stillwater. Stillwater looked at the pool. "The things can go swimming, but we can't," he said. "Oh, I brought too much stuff," said Carl. "That's okay," said Stillwater. I'll help you carry it home later. Oh, I see. So he brought so many things to put in the paddling pool that now they can't fit in to go swimming themselves. Oh dear. It does look like it's fun though, but they can't get in, so they can't enjoy it. Why does Michael always have to tell me what to do? Carl said. If he were here, I would climb up really high. And I would jump on him like this, and I'd do a big smash like this. Oh my goodness, look, so fun. Later, Carl and Stillwater had tea. Carl, said Stillwater, you spent the whole day being angry with Michael. Did you notice how much fun we had? Carl watched the steam rise from his cup. I'm sorry I brought all this stuff, Carl said. You don't need to be sorry, said Stillwater. Right now you need to carry. Hold on tight and I will tell you a story. I like how the stories are in just two-tone, whereas the main stories are in colour, full colour. It's really clever, isn't it? A heavy load. Two travelling monks reached a town where there was a young woman waiting to step out of her sedan chair. The rains had made deep puddles, and she couldn't step across without spoiling her silken robes. She stood there, looking very cross and impatient. She was scolding her attendants. They had nowhere to place the packages they held for her, so they couldn't help her across the puddle. The younger monk noticed the woman, said nothing and walked by. The older monk quickly picked her up and put her on his back, transported her across the water and put her down on the other side. She didn't thank the older monk, she just shoved him out of the way and departed. Oh my goodness. As they continued on their way, the young monk was brooding and preoccupied. After several hours, unable to hold his silence, he spoke out. That woman back there was very selfish and rude, but you picked her up on your back and carried her. She didn't even say thank you. I set the woman down hours ago, the older monk replied. Why are you still carrying her? Do you think you have carried it long enough? Asked Stillwater. Yes, said Carl. Good, said Stillwater. And this is how Addie, Michael, Carl, and Stillwater became friends. Where's Stillwater? Oh, look, there's his hand, look. His paw, he's just putting him in through the window. And then there's something that says the author's note. Let's read about it. What is Zen? Zen is a Japanese word that means meditation. In Zen, the teachings of the Buddha have always been passed down from teacher to student. The Buddha's method of meditation was to sit very still, yet remain completely alert, allowing first one thought and then another to rise and pass away, holding on to none of them. When you look into a pool of water, if the water is still, you can see the moon reflected. If the water is agitated, the moon is fragmented and scattered. It is harder to see the true moon. Our minds are like that. When our minds are agitated, we cannot see the true world. Stillwater's name came from this. His character is based partly on the Zen artist or teacher Sengai Gibbon, whose drawings were used as gentle teaching tools. He was known for his humour and unorthodox teaching style. Uncool Ray is based on Ryokan Taigu. He was one of Japan's best-loved poets. Zen shorts are short meditations, ideas to puzzle over, tools which hone our ability to act with intuition. They have no goal, but they often challenge us to re-examine our habits, desires, concepts and fears. The stories Uncool Ray on the Moon and A Heavy Load come from Zen Buddhist literature, which has been passed along for centuries. The story of the farmer's luck has roots going back to Taoism, which is several thousand years old. There are many versions of these stories. I have chosen the ones that I feel speak best to the youngest audience. There we go. There's Stillwater. It's beautiful, isn't it? That's, I think, a cherry tree. Cherry blossom. The end. Look, and there's that picture on the back as well. Such a beautiful book, isn't it? My goodness me. So thank you very much to John J. Muth and Scholastic Books for letting us read this today. For your reading journal, I think it might be good to write down some things that you might be thinking about a lot, that you're finding it difficult to let go of. So maybe a thought that keeps coming to you over and over again. So for example, you might be thinking, oh, I really wish we could go back to school or something. And you might think that over and over again. Or I really want to see my friends. You might be thinking that a lot, okay? So if you're thinking it, try writing it down in your reading journal. Maybe you could draw a picture of it as well and see if that might help you to let it go a bit, to kind of accept where we are and these are the things that we have to do at the moment, and then see if it helps you to feel any better. It might also help you to feel better if you talk to someone. You could talk to a trusted adult about the things that are worrying you, and that might also make you feel a little bit better as you can kind of let it go and give it to them to worry about instead of you. Okay? Fantastic. I can't wait to see some of these worries, so please do post them for me if you'd like to, or email them to me, or just tell a trusted grown-up. That would be absolutely great. Okay, I hope you all feel a lot freer and happier, and I hope you loved reading that story as much as I did. What a beautiful story. Thank you very much, and see you next time for Story Time with Chocolate Button. Okay, bye, bye, bye.